We have Christina Bobb with us, former Trump attorney, joining us now. We do appreciate that, Christina. Good to see you, and thank you so much. Listening to Trump there, obviously speaking out about this, and he's highlighting he's not allowed to speak personally about certain aspects of the case, given the gag order, but he's able to get around it by quoting other networks, which you've heard him do, talking about the complexities of this case, which I'm sure you're familiar with. From your legal expertise, how do you read this case playing out?
You know, watching this, I've always thought that it was a witch hunt. As we've all been talking about for a while now, it looks very slanted. It looks to be political persecution. But I always kind of left it in that they're just, putting their finger on the scale, which isn't good. But I didn't think they were actually manufacturing an outcome until I heard the judge's instructions yesterday. After I heard the judge's instructions, I thought, okay, they've manufactured an outcome for the purpose of trying to derail his campaign. Now, I still think it's extreme if they are able to get a conviction to remand him to prison immediately. But those instructions were pretty blatant that made me go, maybe they actually are just trying to get him off the campaign trail, knowing it's going to be overturned on appeal. But the appeal will probably take him off the trail, at least for several months, likely longer than the election. So I thought those jury instructions were very telling and extremely concerning.
Well, let's talk about, since you mentioned it, the possible verdict, guilty verdict here. Again, keep in mind, there wasn't an immediate verdict. So maybe some folks were thinking if it comes out right away, he'd be found not guilty. But now we're in day 2 of deliberations. Definitely no indication of what the outcome could be. I don't want to guess what the jury's thinking here. But if it is guilty, Politico is reporting even this morning that Trump's team believes he can survive any verdict, saying this, the Trump campaign's strategy might be for dealing with the guilty verdict. Trump's advisors and allies say the public, which has largely tuned out the trial, may have already factored the possibility of a conviction into how it sees Trump. And as Trump has before, he'll use the case to bolster the grievance narrative he's been cultivating for years. Christina, do you think that checks out with how you read a potential guilty verdict?
100%. It's not going to hurt Donald Trump. They're trying, if they try to convict him and send him to prison to take him off the campaign trail, it will fuel the American public. The American public will have their own rallies. We will see a wave of MAGA across this country that we have yet seen. They're trying to stop those 100,000 people rallies in New Jersey and the Bronx in New York. I think if they actually do something like that, they will be surprised at the number of people who step up to support this president. And I think that aspect of it will only help his campaign. I don't want it to happen, but if it does, I think it will only help him.
Wanted to get your thoughts on a gag order on President Trump, seemingly very frustrated with this, his legal team frustrated with this, supporters of Trump frustrated with this, and even some on the left or some attorneys that are, let's say, apolitical frustrated with this. Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio has again reached out now formally to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, calling the gag order in this specific case unconstitutional. Do you side with that, and why?
I do. They're censoring political speech is what this is doing. This entire trial, this entire process is election interference. It's for the purpose of interfering with political activity, and then they're gagging his ability to speak about that. So 100% this is unconstitutional, and I applaud the president for quoting others and for doing what he can to still get his message out while following the law. It's important to recognize that Donald Trump is doing everything he can to follow the law and follow the orders, recognizing that it's unconstitutional.
And showing up in the courtroom as the jury deliberates. We don't know exactly how much longer this could last, but he's not on the campaign trail, or at least in the traditional sense of it. Christina Bobb, thanks so much for coming on today. Appreciate it.